Welcome back to my kitchen. So the recipe we're going to make today is our vegetable weight loss soup. Whether or not you're trying to lose weight, it's just a delicious, really veggie packed, high fiber recipe that you can have for lunch, dinner, whatever you want. And the good part is it leaves extra. So you make a big batch at the beginning of the week and you're set for the week. So I went ahead and got started on some of the prep. What I have here is 2 carrots, 2 stalks of celery, 1 onion, and 2 cloves of garlic that I chopped up and put in this bowl here. Okay, so the next vegetable up is kale. Kale is one of the higher fiber greens, so it adds extra fiber to the soup, and I also think it's really yummy in the soup. It's not as tough once it gets cooked into the soup. So if you're somebody that doesn't love kale, I think you'll like it in this recipe. So you are probably wondering why we are focusing on fiber. And the reason is that it just does so much good in the body. It helps make weight loss easier. It helps to balance blood sugars, and it helps to keep your digestive system working smoothly. So when it comes to weight loss, fiber does a really great job of keeping us feeling satisfied for longer after a meal. So if you're eating fiber at every single meal, you'll feel more satisfied and are less likely to overeat throughout the day. It should be said that the fact that we made it through 2020 is something to celebrate. I know I for sure have had my fair share of wine, cocktails, cookies, especially sour gummy worms. And you know why? Because I needed that. We all needed some comfort this past year. So in no way should you feel guilty about giving yourself that. So let's just, pat ourselves on the back for what we got through. All right, so the kale is chopped. I'm going to transfer it to this other bowl here, and then we'll get going on our other veggies. Next up is 2 medium zucchinis. The soup is based off of a minestrone, so you typically might see zucchini in that soup, so we're gonna add it in here. And it's just another way to get more yummy veggies into this soup. We're gonna cut it long in half and then long ways. Basically, we're gonna quarter it. Each little half, cut it in half and just chop it. I personally love zucchini, and I feel like if you are somebody that typically just eats it in the summer, this is a great way to incorporate it into a winter soup. You might already notice you're gonna need your biggest soup pot. Just a forewarning, I've made this soup before and have had to transfer it from what I thought was a big enough pot to an even bigger pot. So, but just a standard, soup pot will work. All right, next up, tomatoes. These are just Roma tomatoes, and we're gonna chop them up. So tomatoes are a super healthy food. They contain lots of good stuff. They contain lycopene in particular. And lycopene helps your eyes, it helps your skin. And an interesting fact is that when you cook lycopene, if you cook tomatoes, that lycopene becomes even more available, so you get more out of it. So what I'm doing here is I'm quartering them, and just to get some of the seed rind out, cut this little middle section on here. That's what the recipe says. You don't have to. Unless you're really adverse to tomato seeds. To be honest, I normally don't do this, but just to show you what it looks like. I'm getting excited for the soup already. This really is one of the soups that I feel like I always make when it first starts to get cold, because it's just so warm and cozy and lovely. And it's also like whenever I feel like I really need some veggies in my life, like if I haven't been doing that well with eating my veggies, this soup is a winner. So there are some easy ways that you can kind of speed up the process, because there is quite a bit of chopping involved. Using diced tomatoes or some sort of canned tomatoes in place of this is a really easy way to speed things up. You can get a bag of already washed and chopped kale. Now we have all these kind of de-seeded. We are just gonna roughly chop them and add them to the same bowl with our zucchini and kale. After this, we can head on over to the stove. All right, now that our veggies are all prepped and ready to go, it's time to start cooking. To this pot here, we're gonna add some olive oil. So now we're gonna go ahead and dump these veggies into the pot and get them sauteing. And then along with those veggies, we're gonna add our green beans. We need 12 ounces. This is a 16 ounce or 1 pound bag, so we're just gonna add most of them. And we'll just go ahead and let this saute for about 10 minutes until these veggies soften a little bit. So these veggies have been sauteing for about 10 minutes, and we're gonna add 2 32-ounce cartons here for a total of 8 cups. And we're gonna crank the heat at the same time. All right, so this came up to a boil, brought it back down to a simmer, and now I'm gonna add in kale, zucchini, tomatoes, and now I just stir this in. And also at this time, we're adding 2 15-ounce cans of our white beans here. We rinsed them off and now they're going in. Next up, salt and pepper. All right, so after stirring that together, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of red wine vinegar. Mix that in. And now we're just gonna bring it back up to a simmer, let the kale cook down a little bit, let the zucchini get cooked through, and then we are ready to eat. So the veggies are just cooked, and I'm gonna stop here because I wanna have this for the week. And so when I go to microwave it, the veggies will just be perfect. If you feel like you want a little bit more flavor, go for your spice cabinet. And if you have like an Italian seasoning blend, that would be really yummy. I have this one that I've had forever. It's an Italian seasoning blend, so sometimes I like to put this in for a little extra kick of flavor, but honestly it's delicious as is, so you don't have to, but totally up to you. All right, I want to bring you in so you can see how delicious this soup looks. Packed with veggies. It's got those beans in there, which add a nice bit of fiber and some protein as well. It's perfect too for this cold weather. All right, I'm excited to eat this yummy bowl of high fiber veggie pack soup. The last bit is, if you have some pesto, take a good little dollop and add it right into your bowl to add a little extra yummy fresh flavor. Ooh, I'm hungry and this smells amazing. All right, time to dig in. My favorite part. So yummy, honestly. So remember, if you want to kick off the year the right way, ditch the fad diets, and just remember to eat more fiber. It's easy to do, it's delicious, and you really will see some benefits if you stick with it. So you can get this delicious vegetable soup plus so many more high fiber recipes on eatingwell.com, and make sure, if you make one of these delicious recipes, which I'm sure you will this January, go ahead and take a photo and tag me on Instagram so I can see all your beautiful creations. Thanks so much for watching. Happy New Year, and I'll see you guys next time on Prep School.